Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking about you and your business. Going to be talking about a group called Naifa. It's an organization here in Texas that works with financial professionals, making sure that they're emphasizing the best practices, making sure they're as skilled and as formed that they need to be in order to take care of their clients. We have both the current president, Tim Von Kennel, and the elected president, Lane Boozer, on today's program. Tim, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about Naifa. What's it all about?
Well, Naifa has been protecting and serving the life insurance and financial advisors for many, many years, over 100 years. So we are here to protect the membership of Naifa, the 2,500 insurance agents and independent agents here in Texas. And then across the United States, there's 42,000 plus in the Naifa membership.
Very good. By the way, it stands for Naifa is N-A-I-F-A, for those here in Texas, NAIFA-Texas.org. Stands for the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. Lane, real quickly, tell us about why this organization is also important to those who work with financial advisors.
Well, what we advocate, NAIFA's mission is to advocate for a positive regulatory and legislative environment and to enhance the businesses of our members and ultimately to promote ethical practices, which is actually the root of how the organization was founded back in the late 1890s. Nowadays, it's become more of an advocacy issue, and today being tax day, or yesterday rather, Naifa was founded, or Naifa's primary mission is to keep our products in a tax-favored status. For example, you're aware that life insurance proceeds are paid out income tax-free and that cash accumulation can grow on a tax-deferred basis as well as they can in annuities. So this gives all sorts of advantages to people who utilize these products.
Yeah, very interesting, and it really has become an issue of advocacy. Talk a little bit about why that's become so important, Tim.
Well, Obamacare has been in the forefront of everyone's conversations now for the last several years, so that's brought the idea of insurance, both for the medical and for the life insurance, into the conversations of people's neighborhoods and church groups and stores and in their living rooms. So people understand the importance of it. In Texas, we have maybe 11 million individual life policies that have been that are written, and that's almost $2 trillion in insurance coverage, and that's protecting a lot of families in Texas.
Yeah, absolutely, no question about it. Let me go back to our new president-elect. Let me ask you real quick, what are some of your objectives for 2014 as you is that when you will assume office, Lane? 2014.
Yes.
And so, what are some of your objectives going into your year?
Well, I will officially take my role on July 1, but we're kind of in a transition mode at this point. Our objectives are to continue to be a watchdog of the Texas legislature and our national legislature. In fact, we're going to take about 1,000 of our members from across the nation to Washington next month to talk about tax reform. That's a hot topic in Washington, and of course, our products are always on the watch list because of their tax-favored status. So objective number one is to maintain that watchdog role. Objective number two is to make ourselves better understood about why we're here to serve the public and how our products really are the good guys out there, that we're the solution and not the problem. On a national basis, every day, the Social Security Administration pays out $1.9 billion in some sort of benefit or another. That's $1.9 billion tax dollars that are paid out into the U.S. economy every day. That same day in the United States, there are $1.5 billion private dollars paid out in some sort of insurance benefit or another. Now, that makes the insurance industry just about as big as the U.S. government when it comes to influx of cash into the U.S. economy. So we want to make sure that we continue to be the good guys and part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm assuming that your industry is involved in advocating for some partial privatization of Social Security. We know in places like Chile and other countries that have utilized it, it's made a much more prosperous population, a whole population of business owners. It would surprise many of my listeners probably to learn that when it comes to economic freedom, Chile is now more free than the United States. And I think that ownership of companies throughout the whole population plays a role in that. Tim, talk a little bit about that.
Well, I'll bring you into the state of Texas. This is a critical time and a unique time in Texas history in a lot of ways for the new leadership that's going to be governing the state of Texas after the elections this fall. We'll have a new governor. We'll have a new attorney general, a new comptroller, and a tight race for the lieutenant governor's race. And so those are new people with new ideas and new thoughts making decisions on our services and products. So one of our major charges is to get Naifa and our 2,500 members here in Texas involved in the grassroots and the campaigning for these new members and new legislators and new senators that are coming into Texas that are going to be impacting our lives with their decisions when they're in the session.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's something that's really important. But as an organization, Naifa hasn't had a position on Social Security and even some partial privatization. That kind of surprises me.
Lane, I'll let you speak to that.
That's a good job there. I like that, Tim.
Kevin, at this point, we have not taken a position because our primary objective, again, is to protect those tax-favored products that we promote and we use to help responsible citizens plan for their futures and ultimately dying too early or living too long. When it does become a hot button for us, I can assure you we will take a position. We just have not yet at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a crucial issue. I would love to see a group like yours get involved in that. And, of course, critics are going to say that's because of self-interest that you would pursue that. But it's, you know what, I see it strongly in the interest of those who receive it. You were talking about what people receive in Social Security benefits, and it's often less than 1% in terms of a return on any investment over the lifetime of an individual. It's kind of pathetic. It's laughable that they get away with that. And the reason why it's not managed in a competitive environment, which your industry is required to operate in a competitive environment. People would no way invest in something with the kind of return that they get from Social Security other than any other means but coercion by the government to have to do that. So I'm glad there's groups like yours, and I hope you continue to advocate for reform that creates more investment opportunity for individuals. What's the best website for people to check out, Tim, as we wrap it up?
Yeah, thank you. I would ask you to, the national organization is run by Dr. Susan Waters. They have offices in D.C., and it would be www.naifa.org. And that will get you, and they have a wonderful website that's got tons of information on there for those that are in the industry, insurance industry, and financial advisors, and also for those that are listening, the consumers. There is a consumers page on that website that gives some pretty good information and the how-to and what how you might be able to find an advisor or an insurance agent in your area. And lastly, I want to say that we have a local association in Houston where your listeners are. That is, you can find that at www.naifahouston.org. Carolyn Chapman is our local Houston president there, and they have luncheons and dinners. They do the meet and the greet and the networking, the on-the-ground networking that is so important to so many of our agents in Texas.
Yep. And I'm a member of that, by the way, just as an aside. So, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get you guys on. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you very much.
When we come back, much more for you. Do you want to remind you, best content here is at usdailyreview.com, and you're listening to The Price of Business.